How's it going, football fans? Welcome inside the set for the final time this season of Gridiron Glory. I'm your host, Blake Brody. Our Player of the Year candidates are in the house. Tonight, one will be named our Player of the Year. We also have teams still alive for a state championship. We have the highlights and the coverage of those games. Now, in many ways, the SUAL as a whole had a bit of a down season this year. Only Jackson made the playoffs, and while they were very good, the rest of the league was left behind. Still, though, Gallia Academy finished with a winning record and were only one win from a share of the league crown. But that was only two teams. With a look at the rest of the teams in the SUAL, we'll take it to our SUAL compadres, Carter Rodriguez and Josh Huntsberger. Fellas?
The best and the rest, Blake. If you recall, that was my prediction 13 weeks ago. And it looks like I pretty much nailed it because Jackson rolled through their league opponents. But Carter, we went back and forth on our predictions all season long.
Yes, we did, Josh. And it looks like where you ended in the ballpark, I landed around the parking lot. We both had a little too much faith in the Logan Chieftains, who finished in last place. And Gallia Academy surprised us both with a second-place finish. We had three teams tie for third place between Portsmouth, Chile, and Warren. But, you know, we can talk about everyone else as much as we want, but we all know that Jackson was the real story this year in the SOAL.
Yeah, they were definitely the story this year, but I kind of got a question. What about next year? They're losing their big offensive weapons in Austin Osborne, Ty McNelly, and Drew Irvin, but you know who they do have coming back? Head coach Andy Hall.
And you know, that guy's got a pretty good track record, and they're also going to look to lean on one of Andy Hall's favorites, Morgan Landron, to carry the load next year. But it's not going to be easy for the Ironmen, though. Logan struggled under Kelly Wolf, but Josh, you think they've got a chance for a resurgence?
I think there's definitely a chance. I wouldn't be surprised to see Logan go back to the I formation and go back to that power rushing game. They're returning their three-year starter, Corey McCarty, in the backfield. Now, Warren is also returning a three-year starter in the backfield with their quarterback, Dylan Leffingwell.
And you know, Leffingwell has a lot of talent, and the Warriors are going to be a team to be reckoned with. The SUAL is sure to be exciting next year, and we've had a blast covering it this year. And for the last time, back to you, Blake.
Hey, the SUAL was a real fun conference to cover. These two made it real fun. Good job this season, you two. Well, fans in Jackson all season were treated to exceptional quarterback play from dual-threat force Austin Osborne. Not only did he throw for 1,000 yards, he proved to be a dynamic runner also, rushing for over 1,000 yards as well. Osborne terrorized defenses all the way to an 11-win season for Jackson and a second-round playoff berth.
Austin Osborne, quarterback and strong safety. I think I have 34 touchdowns, 19 of them are passing. I have 2 interceptions, 2 kick returns for touchdowns. Why I should be Player of the Year? I come into a school, you know, my first year to school. I got voted team captain, basically smashed everyone. When I first got there, you know, I didn't realize I was going to play quarterback. We didn't have one, and I was like, Coach, you know, if I need to play it, I was like, I'll try it. And we ended up playing it, and I guess it's worked. If we ever need the short yardage or anything, I'm always like, hey, give me the ball, I'll take it. Plus, I'm real competitive, and I hate to lose. So I do absolutely everything I can to be the best player I can be. Football's like, I don't know, it's kind of like air to me. I'll do anything I can to win.
Austin Osborne terrorized defenses all season long. You see the numbers there. Dual threat, passing and running over 1,000 yards. And hey, get this, 32 total touchdowns. Austin Osborne, the big key to this Jackson offense all season long that rolled to a second-round playoff berth. He's sitting right now with our Kristen Walters. Kristen, take it away.
Thank you, Blake. I am here with the Austin Osborne. Now, Austin, you are our only Player of the Year candidate who is a quarterback. And not only are you quarterback, you didn't play quarterback last year when you came from Wellston to Jackson. Can you kind of talk about what that's like to go from one rival school to the next and then also change your position and become kind of the star quarterback that you were?
Well, you know, like, it was a tough transition. It was a tough choice to where I was going to go to school, and I ended up, you know, choosing Jackson. And the community was great, and you know, all my teammates are awesome. You know, they welcomed me, you know, with open arms and fit in really well. And then, you know, Coach was like, well, we don't know if we're going to play you at quarterback or whatnot. So I was like, all right, well, if you need me to, I will. And we ended up going through camp, and he decided to choose me. So when he chose me, like, I was just like, well, I'm here, what's best for the team. And it ended up working, obviously, so I don't know, that and the transition wasn't as bad when I first got there, everything was smooth. And, like I said, people open, welcomed me, and it was just, I don't know, that all was good.
Yeah. And let's talk about you throw, you run, you play defense. Real quickly, what do you think is the best aspect of your game?
None of them in particular, just more like that I'm an athlete, and I played basically everywhere on the field. I mean, from quarterback for the first time to defensive end before. So, I mean, I don't know, probably the ability to put me anywhere and me be able to cope with what you put me as.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Austin. Back to you, Blake.
Thank you, Kristen. Well, throughout the night, we'll be rewinding the clock back to our top 5 games of the 2011 season. 4 quarters couldn't decide our number 5 game of the year, and it came in Week 5, Chillicothe at Portsmouth.
Portsmouth and Chillicothe were both winless going into their game, but they gave us a classic anyway. Starting the second quarter, Mason Jordan from 14 yards out runs it in for the first touchdown of the game, 7-0 Trojans. But the bad Mason Jordan was out to play as well. He gets picked off by Chillicothe's Luke Barnes, who goes ahead and takes it back 80 yards for a touchdown. With time running out in the second quarter, Jordan hits Wayne Evans 35 yards downfield, and that sets up a big-time field goal with time expiring, 10-7 Trojans at the half. However, second half starts, Jalen Jones takes over. Starts making people miss, breaking tackles, and reaching in for the touchdown. Now it's 14-10 Cavs. Then Ryan Mathis went in on it as well with a QB sneak, 21-10 Cavs. Looks like Chillicothe is getting ready to run away with this one, but this little fella still believes, and so does Duke Edwards. Plunges in from about 2 yards out, 21-16 after the 2-point conversion fails. In the fourth quarter, Mason Jordan is avoiding pressure and just kind of throws it up in the back of the end zone, and Zade Whitley, his buddy's there to make the touchdown, and then he throws a back corner fade to LT Adams for the 2-point conversion. It's 24-21 Trojans. Ryan Mathis isn't giving up though. He hits Adam Bixler down the field, and that sets up Noah Valentine. Big time field goal, 24-24. We're going to overtime. In overtime, Jordan hits Evans downfield to set up his own sneak touchdown. Trojans, 31-24. Last possession for the Cavs. Ryan Mathis can't get it complete on fourth down. The Trojans win 31-24.
Hey fans, while our coverage on television comes to an end tonight, continue to check out our webpage at WOUB.org. As long as we have teams in the playoffs, we'll continue providing the best coverage of all the action. Also, we have every one of our shows on our page as well, so if you miss us, we'll always be right there. Well, last week in the first round, Wahama knocked off Pocahontas County 31-20, giving the White Falcons 11 straight wins. Tonight, they matched up with the Fayetteville with a berth for the state semifinals on the line.
Going into it, we'll have such an edge about us. Not a sense of cockiness, but an edge that since what they did to us last year, I think we can beat them.
I mean, we worked so hard. We worked all year to get to where we were at. In the off season, we were in here every day, working harder and harder to get better.
That loss really challenged us and pushed us harder in the off season.
And going as far as we did last year, we were put up on a pedestal.
Not the biggest team in the world, but I know our defense will hit you hard, and our offense is quick and elusive.
And there's a lot of pressure, but we just like to take it game by game.
And I just hope to hold that trophy up at the end of the year. I don't want to settle for second place. Sure, I'd like to have that big old plaque that says state champion.
At this matchup for us tonight, covering Wahama, as deep as they go in the playoffs, is Nick Hurst. Nick, Fayetteville's the last team who's beaten Wahama, came in the playoffs a couple years ago, so a formidable opponent tonight for the White Falcons.
Yeah, they really are, and as you mentioned, they've only lost 2 games out of their last 26, and that very Fayetteville team they're playing tonight was one of those opponents that have beat them. And those Pirates, on their first possession, they're trying to knock out Isaac Lee, who cannot be in studio. He's one of our Player of the Year candidates. Trying to knock him out on their opening possession. They get a nice little 15-yard run from Hunter Hernandez. But Blake, do you like the movie Transformers?
I love it.
Yeah, well, Damon Branch is going to turn into a school bus and just simply lay out Brandon Dorsey here.
Oh!
Big hit there for the
that
big guy.
was very bus-like.
But they would score as Aaron Kreis hooks up with his receiver Elijah Lewis on a 12-yard reception. So they're up 7-0. So Wahama's down again. But they would drive. On their second possession, Trenton Gibbs throws to Kane Roush, on a 20-yard reception. And then it would be the big man on 4th down. Anthony Grimm puts it in for Wahama. That ties the score up 7-0. And Anthony Grimm, he's going to have a big night for the Wahama White Falcons. Here he is on another 4th down run. Goes 23 yards, nearly scores, but he's going to score anyway as he gets another touchdown for them. And that put Wahama up 13-7 at that point. And while Wahama's Trenton Gibbs, who's a great quarterback, throws to Isaac Lee on a big pass. Isaac Lee, he almost missed the touchdown.
He's a big play machine.
And he really is. And Wahama's up 21-7 at that point. And then here's a fumble for Fayetteville. Wahama would recover. And Anthony Grimm, he's in that jersey number 49. He actually switched jersey due to some equipment issues, and he puts it in for Wahama. Wahama does win. They advance to the semifinals for the 2nd year in a row with a 45-20 victory.
All right, so Wahama, after being tested a little bit last week, looked like they rolled tonight.
They really did, and for them, I think that their biggest test will be their opponent next week in Williamstown. Williamstown did win their game tonight. They did not play very well in their first playoff matchup, but they did look good tonight, so that's going to be a good game for us next week.
Yeah, you predicted Williamstown would be their toughest opponent on the way to a possible state championship run. What do you see from that game?
I think they match up very well. I really think Wahama might be the better football team in this game, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. But Williamstown might just be able to pull them off and maybe get that win.
All right, Nick. Well, you'll be covering that game for us next week against Williamstown. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank
Great
you.
season. Well, Wahama all season has been led by their workhorse Isaac Lee. In his hybrid role of running back receiver, Lee personifies big play potential as he averages 34 yards per reception.
Running back, wide receiver, quarterback, corner, kick returner, punt returner, punter, Isaac Lee. Personally think there's no corner in West Virginia that can man up on me one-on-one. And I can out-jump all the receivers, so I just go back for the ball, get out there and just run all over them. It means like I actually accomplished something other than going like the championship or something like that, like something by myself.
Isaac Lee this season for Wahama, big playmaker all season long. You see his numbers. Remember, he missed 3 games this season, so his numbers are a little bit down as far as the rest of our contenders. But this guy, the big number on him, 34 yards per catch. Wahama relied on his big play machinery all season long. Also 13 touchdowns. Isaac Lee couldn't be in studio tonight. He's too busy trying to win Wahama a state championship. So Isaac Lee not in the house tonight, but don't worry, he'll get his award if he does win it tonight. Well, sticking with the Hawking flavor, our number 4 game of the year involves Trimble, and it came in the playoff matchup with top seed Sims Valley.
Game of the year number 4, it's playoff time. The 1-seeded Sims Valley Vikings hosted the 8-seeded Trimble Tomcats. Second quarter, the Vikings came out strong but were denied by Trimble's tough defense at the 1-yard line on 4th and goal, turnover on downs. However, the Vikings on their next possession score as Alec Harrell goes 10 yards, stretches for the end zone, and puts his Vikings up 7-6. Sims Valley not finished yet. They give the ball to DJ Miller, who's going to find the end zone and put his team up 14-6 with this bruising run. Next drive, Sims Valley's offense really has it going. Alec Harrell gets his 2nd touchdown of the evening. He won't be denied as he stiff arms Mr. Connor Stanley on his way to diving toward the end zone. It's 21-6, a Viking lead at half. For 4th quarter, it's where big players make big plays. Sophomore Connor Stanley knows that, and he steps up This fourth quarter drive, he carries the ball 6 times, and this time he's going to put it inside the Viking 11. And then quarterback Justin Jewell, 2 plays later, is going to run it in. Second missed extra point for the Trimble Tomcats, but they're down 21-12. Tomcat defense said it's time for us to step up as well in the fourth quarter. Jacob Kish is going to bat this ball away, forcing another Viking punt. Trimble driving again. Justin Jewell is going to find, guess who? Mr. Connor Stanley. Stanley's yak gets him inside the red zone. And the next play, Justin Jewell goes over the middle to Wyatt Deek. The Tomcats cut the lead to 21-19. Ensuing possession, 4th and 1. False start by the Vikings. They have to punt it to the Tomcats. Justin Jewell is going to try to find his receiver, but he will be intercepted by Sims Valley's DJ Miller. The Vikings are going to escape, score one more time, final being 28-19 Sims Valley.
Well, WOUB all season, along with Isaac Lee, ran all over the TVC Hawking. But as a whole, the conference had a lot of success. Not only did WOUB reach the playoffs, so did Trimble and South Gallia. They also advanced to the second season. You just heard from Nick Hurst. He's joined alongside our fellow TVC Hawking reporter Keith Turner. Guys, a lot of good news from the Hawking this season.
That's right, Blake. As you mentioned, those 3 teams got into the playoffs, WOUB, South Gallia, and Trimble. And for WOUB, they're still in the playoffs with a big win over Fayetteville tonight. So they got a chance to go to the state championship again for the second year in a row. But for those 3 teams, great years. But for the other teams in this conference, really a learning experience for them.
Absolutely. And Trimble and WOUB and all them teams had a lot to teach them. WOUB, they had a huge season this year, a huge season last year. This is their second year undefeated in league play and non-league play. Trimble and WOUB also taught them a lot. So, but the teams at the bottom, though, they have a lot coming back this year, not losing as much as the top 3 teams. So, Nick, this could be a huge league next year.
Yeah, as we talk about next season, we might not see WOUB and Trimble maybe up near the top. They're definitely going to be good teams. Still got a lot of players coming back. WOUB's got losing 18 seniors, though. Trenton Gibbs will be back at quarterback for them. But really, we could see a shakeup in the TVC Hockey next
year. We really could. WOUB, like you said, losing 18 seniors. Trimble losing some big guys. South Gallia even losing some big guys. So you can see those teams like Waterford, those Belpres, those Millers, all those teams who may not be losing so much next year really come out strong next year. I can't wait for it, Nick.
Yeah, Blake, well, I wish I could be there for that next year, but this is my final time as a senior, so Blake, I'll send it back to you.
All right, you did a great job, Nick. Both you guys did a great job for us this season. Thanks a lot. Well, Williamstown in round 1 survived a scare from 15 seed Madonna, but in the playoffs, surviving and advancing is the name of the game. The Yellow Jackets lived to play another day, and tonight they welcomed in 7 seed Valley.
Football team. You gotta know that, you gotta believe that. Dominate. It's always dominate. It's always dominate. You dominate up front. Separates us from them in the fourth quarter. When the game's on the line, we can dig a little bit deeper than they do. I want to freaking dominate. I want to freaking dominate. Yeah. I want to win. I want to put them down.
All right, put them down. All right, well, Pat Moore at the desk with us. Pat, you warned the Yellow Jackets last week after giving up 31 points that they better bring the defense or they wouldn't see another playoff round. How'd they play tonight?
Well, I mean, yeah, the defense was obviously an issue in last week's game. Like you said, they gave up 31 points, which happened to be the most points they've given up all season. And I think everyone was curious to see how they would respond. The big thing Coach Smith emphasized in practice this week, hitting and tackling. Well, the first drive, Williamstown, they're going to find themselves at the goal line. And Tracewell, he's going to drop back. He's going to find defensive standout Aaron Jones, 7-yard touchdown there, 7-0 early. Williamstown leads. Second quarter action now. Williamstown in scoring position again. And Tracewell, he's going to find Ben Amos this time. He's going to find his way into the end zone. 14-0 Williamstown. Now, end of the quarter, Valley's trying to get something going here. He's going to find Keyshawn Payne, 24 yards. They end up capping the drive by scoring and converting a 2-point conversion. 14-8 Williamstown still. Now, with under a minute to go, here is Tracewell. He's going to find Aaron Jones again. He's going to go 46 yards down the seam there. He's going to rumble down, trying to get into field goal range. Next play, here comes Trey King finally making an appearance. That's a bubble screen right there, 21 yards. He's going to get knocked out of bounds. It's going to stop the clock, at which 2 plays later, under 30 seconds, Tracewell, front of the end zone, Ben Amos tiptoes his way for the touchdown. Are you kidding me? Less than a minute to go, 80 yards. As you'll see again here, he clearly gets the 2 feet in. They're up 21-8 going into half. And now here's Valley again in Williamstown territory in the third quarter. And he's picked off by Austin Eddy at the 1-yard line.
That defense coming to
and
play.
The next play here at the 1-yard line, what are you going to do with Williamstown? You know what you're going to give the big man the rock as he is going to rumble up the middle there. There's 24 yards from Mike Adams. No way. And with that, that's going to be the first play of a 99-yard touchdown drive, which was capped by this Trey King, Mr. Everything, touchdown, catch 21 yards. They don't even look back. It's 45-8 win. Huge win. And, of course, Trey King gets his numbers there, 196 yards. Come on, man. But the one you got to look at, Tracewell, 4 touchdowns. I mean, the kid completed 2 passes last week, 4 touchdowns.
Man, and great efficiency, too, 13 of 18. Talk about that groove Tracewell was in tonight.
It was amazing. I mean, it was night and day. I mean, Tracewell last week, he looked rattled. I mean, he is a sophomore, first playoff game. But 14 for, 18 I think it was that, and 4 touchdowns. That's composure.
Yeah.
I mean, huge out of Tracewell.
They'll take that production week in and week out. And the defense stepped up tonight, so how important will that be going forward for the Yellow Jackets?
31 points last week, 8 this week. They're a different team this week. And like I emphasized, their run defense was superb this week. And honestly, they did give a little up in the passing game, but the run defense definitely covered it up because they played extremely well.
Yeah, now they have probably Wahama. No, it is Wahama next week, which is a huge game. Give us a little quick preview of that game.
Well, the thing about Wahama is they're a fast team. They had problems with Madonna last week. They're a fast team as well, but if they can really just shore up that defense, it's going to be quite a game.
Okay, well, it certainly will be quite a game. We'll be covering it. Follow that on the web. Thanks a lot this year, Pat. Well, we know Devon Sharp leaping over a guy was one of the best plays of the year, but is it our top play? Let's take a look. Here are the top plays of 2011. Coming in at number 10, this was Chillicothe and Gallia Academy. 48-yard, the hook and ladder comes out. Ryan Mathis gives it off to Zach Johnson. Jalen Jones also there making good play. Chillicothe, nice play, but they would lose this one 19-7. Number 9, this was Jackson and Athens. This game of the playoffs. You know what a 93-yard touchdown run looks like? It looks just like this. Osborne outruns pretty much the entire Athens secondary. This pretty much was a key to the entire game. Jackson would roll in this playoff matchup 27-7. Number 8 came in week 8. This is South Gallia against Wahama. Jacob White breaks 1, 2, 3, 4 tackles. Get off me here. Spins into the end zone. Wahama would roll in this matchup 28-6. Number 7, week 9, Maysville and Philo. This is Jeremy Wilson. He's a player of the year candidate, you know. Here he goes through the heart of the Philo defense, breaks out of nowhere, sprints down, gets around the pylon. What a play, but Philo would win 21-20. Number 6, Jackson again. This one, Wellston. This is the Ty McNelly hookup from Osborne. This came a lot of times. So this was against Wellston. Now here against Ironton. Just a bomb, a pretty pass, and Isaac Lee just wants it more. Great combo that year all season long. Number 5, Portsmouth and Chillicothe. You saw this game as our top 5 game of the year. Here's Mason Jordan, tosses it up to Wayne Evans. Flight school here. Portsmouth Whiteouts did that a lot this season. They won this one in overtime, 31-24. Coming in at number 4, this was Gallia Academy and Athens. This is QB Wade Gerald for Gallia Academy. Dips and dodges through the Athens defense. Takes this one 46 yards. Not done. Look at that. Reverses field, breaking tackles, and then now pay dirt for Gallia Academy. Athens would win this one, though, 15-10. That started off the regular season for the Bulldogs. Number 3, this was week 10, Sheridan and New Lex. We thought this might be a tough game for Sheridan. It was a bounce-back game off Tri-Valley. Jacob Horsley, 95-yard pick 6. Sheridan made this one look easy all night long. They would cruise in this one 41-0. Number 2, week 3, Portsmouth and Wheelersburg. Squib kick here to Zade Whitley. He wants to go left, decides there's nothing here. I'll take it reverse field. Goes right, 81 yards to the house. Zade Whitley, athletic. Did this all season long for Portsmouth, but Wheelersburg would win this one 28-19. And our top play, it was our number 1 play. Devon Sharp smells the end zone, hurdles over this Alexander defender. Party rock in the house for Devon. Athens would roll in this one 40-7. What a play. Well, Maysville running back Jeremy Willison took advantage of 2011 after an injury marred his junior campaign. but his senior season, all redemption, baby, racking up almost 1,900 all-purpose yards throughout a great season.
I'm not afraid to say what I have to get the team going. I mean, our best chance of winning is putting the ball in my hands. And give 100% every play. I mean, whether we're losing by 40 or up 40. Just always doing what I can to keep my team in the game. When I'm going through the holes, I can sort of see it. It's almost in slow motion. I got the ball, sort of just went through the line, and there was sort of like a huddle where you can't see anything, and all of a sudden you just feel people sort of fall off. And next thing I knew, I mean, it was like 60 yards for a touchdown. And then you sort of just see that one open gap. But once you get out of there, I mean, once the crowd sort of, you can feel them almost like pushing you once they all stand up and start yelling. It's an adrenaline rush.
Second half fire up. All right, let's go, baby. Let's go. All right, let's go. Pass on three. 1, 2, 3, go.
Jeremy Willison. I'm not sure there was another team who relied on one player for success the way Maysville did Jeremy Willison. 1,900 all-purpose yards, 1,300 coming on the ground, averaged 18 yards a catch as a receiver. He also averaged 34 yards as a punt kick returner. Great season from Jeremy Willison, 19 total touchdowns. And he is sitting down with our Kristen Walters right now. Kristen.
Thanks, Blake. I am here with Jeremy, and let's talk about how you were pretty much the one who carried Maysville through their season. And how do you approach a game knowing that your opponents, their sole purpose is to stop you because you're the main guy on your offense?
There's obviously a lot of pressure going into the game, knowing that their defense's main goal to win the game is to stop you. So every play is sort of a little frustrating at the beginning of the game, but you can't let that stop you from having a great night and letting your team get the win. And I know a few times this year that was the case, and it's just about giving your all every play and trying to get what you can.
Exactly. All right, well, thank you, and we're going to send it back to you, Blake.
Thanks a lot, Kristen. Well, probably my favorite aspect of being your host this season were my adventures on the road finding a fan of the week. From the G-Force and Galley Academy Week 1 all the way through to Jackson's fans teaching me how to roller coaster in Week 10. So many memories in this year's Best of Fan of the Week. That's what happens if Kirksville wins.
We're going to duke it out.
There will be fists thrown either way. Only appropriate. Oh boy, I'm a sucker for cute little kids. This is literally the sweetest costume I've seen in any of these real feathers too. Yes. This is the real deal. Take it from me. Take it. This is all you. I'll just go ahead and stick to just being the host and finding a fan of the week. My money would not be on me though for this. I'm a first timer here. I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah. Backman. High five. Backman's in the complex. You know it's a big game.
Combat, baby! Combat!
Woo. All right, now that I get my eardrums back in action. What's your name, man? You don't know your name? Okay, well, sometimes Fan of the Week doesn't fit for everybody. Greba like Greba McIntyre. Yeah. 42-17, we're all in agreement there. 42-17. Can I get you to fact a 42-17 score?
Oh, 42-17.
I need 42.
Facting that the score is going to be 42-17.
I know for a fact we're going to win.
No for a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. He's facting to win too, apparently.
I'm facting a South win, baby. You can take it to the house. Mad Max said it.
Facting a 28-14 win Rockets.
Blake, I'm facting 18-0 Wilson with
Gage, confident as ever, facted it for us. That's an exclusive fact here. Gridiron Glory. Gage making it happen. facting thing has certainly started to catch on, which is just great.
Facting out of the season.
They're facting it, baby! They're facting it! Facting it! Oh, fan of the week. So much fun this season. Facting it. Now, the 2011 has truly been a season to remember for our Tri-Valley Scotties. Not only do they get the most wins in school history, tonight they're playing for a chance in the school's first ever berth in the state Final Four. All right, we welcome Glenn Janos out in Zanesville covering this game for us. Glenn, this was the 1 versus 2 matchup in the region. We were expecting a great game tonight.
That's exactly right, Blake. This was Tri-Valley's toughest opponent of the season. And for the Scotties to stop the Red Devils, they're going to have to stop Corey Benson. He's a dual threat quarterback, and he has thrown for over 2,000 yards this season and rushed for another 500. But the Scotties have their own talented quarterback, junior Nathan Strock. He's a pretty talented guy himself. But it's going to be Corey Benson that gets first blood. He'll run the ball inside the 5-yard line, and on the very next play, he's going to go into the end zone. Marion Franklin up 6-0 midway through the first. But Nathan Strock, he'll respond with a 16-yard pass here to J.T. Campbell. Good hit by the Red Devils, and they would stop the Scotties on that drive. Well, Benson, he will score, though, on their next drive. 8-yard pass to Joe Alverson, up 12-0 early in the second. Austin Jones, he'll go to work. He's been a workhorse for the Scotties all season. This one will go 34 yards into Marion Franklin territory. Continues to work as little later on. He will score 12-7 with the Scotties down. But Benson, he likes his target. Alverson, 61 yards all the way down to the 18-yard line of the Scotties. But the Devils would score not long after that. Tymir Fambro, caps off the drive, extend the lead 20-7. Nathan Strock, he wants to get some points on the board, finds Matt Amicone. That was a 4th and 10 conversion. And a little bit later, another 4th down. Strock airs it out to Jason Campbell. That's his first touchdown of the season. Good time for it. And a little later on, Benson will make a mistake, picked off by Austin Jones, and Skies will score before half. Got the momentum on their side, up 21-20. Well, Benson, he's right back at it. First play of the second half goes 45 yards. The Scotties defense finally holds strong. No points on that drive. And Austin Jones, he'll carry the ball again. Well, same thing with the Red Devils. Scotties would not score. Defense is picking up, and you see there more defense. This is after another Tri-Valley touchdown. Strock will intercept the ball, runs it in, up 35-20 late in the third. But Benson and Alverson, they are not done. They will not be denied. This pass is 31 yards. Big hit by the Scotties defense, knocks the helmet off of Alverson, but he's not phased because Red Devils would score later. It's 35-28, and Austin Jones finds Logan Weiscarver along the sidelines, 26 yards. Austin Jones scores with 6 minutes left, up 42-28. Looks like a safe lead, but Marion Franklin would come back and tie it because they kept fighting, and then at the end of regulation, Matt Amicone kicks a field goal. It's good, but they call it back due to an illegal procedure, and then he'll kick it again and miss it off the upright. Go into overtime. Nathan Strock on the first possession for Tri-Valley gets intercepted, and Benson will score on the Red Devils' possession to go on and win 48-42. Just a heartbreaker for Tri-Valley.
Oh, Glenn, a heartbreaker indeed. It looked like they were right on the brink of their first ever Final Four run. How'd they let this one get away, man?
Well, that's right, Blake. I mean, it was just a tough night defensively. I mean, the Scotties have been prone to the big play all year, and Benson kept just exploiting him. He is a monstrous quarterback, and a great play tonight from him. And unfortunately for the Scotties, their great season comes to an end.
Still a great season indeed, Glenn. Great job covering Tri-Valley for us all season long. Well, we've already established that Tri-Valley had a 2011 season to remember, but the MVL as a whole was great this season as well. Sheridan went 9-1 and made the playoffs. New Lexington surprised the league with a 7-3 mark, and Jeremy Wilson and Maysville finished with a 5-3 league record. But I don't want to spoil everything that happened in the MVL, so I'll toss it over to our MVL duo, Pat Chiesa and Colin Brown. Fellas.
Thanks, Blake. I'm Pat here with Colin Brown to break down the season that was in the MVL for 2011. The Tri-Valley Scotties were your conference champions. It came down to Week 9. Tri-Valley and Sheridan, the battle of the conference unbeatens, and the Scotties knocked off the Generals in Thornville 38-14. But Colin, there was some competitive football really all the way through. We had a three-way tie for third place when the season was over.
Yeah, and right behind that two-headed monster up front was New Lexington, who went 2-8 last season, really turned their program around behind quarterback KJ Hook, and he led them to a 7-3 season. And then tied with them was Philo and Maysville. You know, two schools played a lot of really good games, good wins for them, but just couldn't get to the top of the MVL. But excluding Tri-Valley, a lot of those teams are losing a lot of starters next season. How's that going to play out, Pat?
That's right, Blake. That's right, Colin. Tri-Valley's bringing back some good players, but a lot of these other teams are losing their top players. But if there's any team that can rebound, it will be the Sheridan Generals. Coach Paul Culver's been there for 30-plus years. You know they'll be back in the playoff conversation next season. And Nulex is going to have to replace their quarterback, KJ Hook. He did great things for them this year in his first season starting at quarterback. And then you look at the rivals, Philo and Maysville. They're losing some good players, but they're also bringing back some talented players as well.
And yeah, next year for Maysville, C.J. Harris will have to fill the role of Jeremy Wilson. And then for Philo, Sheridan, new quarterback. So the MVL will be a good season. That's it for us, Blake. Back to you.
All right, MVL, always a fun ride. Colin Brown, Pat Chiesa, good stuff. Our third best game of the season came just a couple of weeks ago in Sheridan's first round matchup with Dover. Get this, 121 points scored and almost 1,000 yards of total offense. Who says defense wins championships?
Sheridan at Dover, first round of the Division III Region 11 playoffs. If you're looking for offense, well, this game is for you. Here's Mitchell Fouch with a nice touchdown run, puts Sheridan up 14-7, and early in the second quarter, that lead would expand. Drew Murray to Zane Schumer wide open for a 21-yard touchdown strike. Sheridan up 21-7. But the Tornadoes would score in their next possession, and then this would happen. The fumbled exchange, Dover jumps on the ball, and a team with this much offensive firepower will make you pay. Check out this pretty Derek Swinnerman pass to Logan Malloy. Great concentration in the end zone. But the Generals kept matching the Tornadoes blow for blow early on. Here, Murray finds Schumer for 22 yards down to the 1. Sheridan would score on the next play, but Dover just kept rolling. Here's Swinnerman with his best Aaron Rodgers impersonation to Mason Mamarella. Mamma mia, 46 yards to pay dirt, but that upset another talented Sheridan running back named Nick Allspot. Who's your daddy? See ya bye. That's a 62-yard touchdown run. Allspot, Fouch, and Drew Van Winkle all finished over 100 yards rushing on the night. Again, however, Dover's offense just kept on rolling. Here's a 2-yard touchdown run, and then right before the half, Swinnerman throws across his body to Malloy yet again. 42 points in the second quarter alone for Dover, and they advance with a 68-53 win.
Hey, you can call Mitchell Fouch Mr. First Down. With a 10-yard per carry average this season, you could bank on Fouch moving the chains every time he touched the rock.
I think I deserve to be Player of the Year because of all the hard work I've put into it. It's all the practice turned into instinct. My quickness and able to cut off defenders and read my blocks. People rely on me to make plays, and I've just always done that this year.
Mitchell Fouch. Hey, I wasn't lying to you. This guy averaged 10-plus yards per rush all the way to almost a 1,500-yard rushing season. Also, he's not just on offense. He had 2 special team scores as well. The catalyst of a Sheridan offense that went 9-1 this season. Mitchell Fouch sitting down with Kristen Walters right now. Kristen.
Yeah, that's right. I'm here with Mitchell Fouch. Now, Mitchell, running is what you do best. So Take us through, every time you're handed the ball, what's going through your mind?
Well, first off, right when I get the ball, I'm looking to follow my fullback, Nick Oswald, and he usually leads me to a hole, and then if not, I'll just find any open seam, and once I hit the next level, I just turn on the burners.
Sounds like a good plan. All right, thanks. Back to you, Blake.
Well, we promised you we'd bring you the top hits of the season, and we won't disappoint. Nothing screams football more than a punishing hit. 2011 had plenty to offer, but be warned, this segment not for the faint of heart. Here we go. Here's our top hits. Number 10, Jackson's. Number 26, Stephen Trepandy's. Oh, tackles. Eamon Gilbert. What a play there. Rocked him. Number 9, though, Jacob Douglas. Just bulldozes Musselman, Samuel Monsanto. What a great play there. Number 8, Maysville's. Number 40, Austin Nolder tackles Philo Zach Sheridan, blows him up. Number 7, you might recognize this guy, Austin Osborne, not just a quarterback. Here he levels Waverly's Taylor Ward. Osborne packs the punch on defense too. Number 6, Southern's Danny Rantham plows Fedhawks Josh Cunningham. Whew. Number 5 here, this is in the playoffs, Jonathan Alder takes down, Drew Irvin wasn't used to this much this season, but here, level. Jonathan Alder would go on to win this playoff game. Number 4, Tri-Valley's Austin Jones. He's not just a running back. Here, tackles New Albany's Dan Britton. This came just a couple weeks ago. Man, these guys lay the lumber. Number 3, it's Austin Jones again. Can't get enough of this guy. Not only does he level him, makes him fumble as well. Tri-Valley would recover. That was a huge play. Great job, Austin Jones. Number 2, and our player of the years, this is Isaac Lee. They do it on both sides. They're just destroy Spencer McCoy. But at number 1, probably knew this was coming. Mitch Ryder. Oh, that poor Chillicothe, Zach Johnson, still seeing birds after that one. What a hit, Mitchell Fouch. Hey, it didn't take very long for us to figure out that Jackson was very good this season. But their win over Ironton revealed this team was on a different level. And it's that win that rolls in as our number 2 game of the year. If you weren't familiar with that game, what made it so special was Jackson had to come back in the last couple of minutes as the lead changed several times. They went on to win that one in thrilling fashion, 28-22. Well, if you'd have told most fans going into last week's 13-seeded Parkersburg South matchup with 4-seeded Logan that the final score would be 51-8, you probably would have thought it was the better-seeded Logan team who did the trouncing. But as we welcome Katie Daup up to the desk, Parkersburg South was the one that really gave them the bird treatment. So, Katie, tell us about that win.
They absolutely did last week, and after making to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years, the Patriots pushed through the first round against Logan, unexpectedly beating them, like we said, 51-7. With luck like this, you would think that the momentum would keep them going, but sadly, the playoff dream has come to an end for South tonight against Morgantown. You know, the Mohegans beat the Patriots on the road the first time around, 28-7. After forcing a 3-and-out, the Mohegans catch even more of a break as the snap is too high and the punter tried to pick it up and advance it to the first down, but no luck. Mohegans take over deep in Patriot territory. Very first play from scrimmage after that, Shazzy Thomas gets snazzy 34 yards for the score. Mohegans missed the point after that, but strike early 6-0. The Mohegans defense have been playing tough lately. South working the sweep. Only problem is Kevin Meinhardt wants the ball more. He literally strips the ball from the runner, but then fumbles on his own. However, Adam Kovac jumps on the loose ball, and the Mohegans are again in business. They used a long drive to set things up at the 2-yard line, and then Alex Weidman gets it in. 12-0 Mohegans on top. Those Patriots, though, not giving up. Jacob Douglas gets the pass, and look at this, Blake. He breaks tackles. He spins his way down to the 1 where he's dragged down, but the ball breaks the plane, and he scores, putting it at 12-7. However, the Mohegans would take it over from there, and they win 45-22. Blake, that was a tough one for South. You know, we wanted to see them win. We wanted to see them go off the way after not being there for 8 years. So
still a great season for South. They have a lot of confidence going into next year. Thanks a lot, Katie.
Thank you.
Hey, TVC fans, football season's wrapping up, so basketball season's around the corner. If you haven't quenched your TVC thirst just yet, keep your heads up for Hardwood Heroes, coming this January on WOUB2. They'll be bringing you all the best TVC coverage every Sunday night. Over 1,700 rushing yards, almost 30 touchdowns, and a Buckeye career that won't soon be forgotten. Dustin Young was the man of a Buckeye offense that averaged about 40 points a game.
Dustin Young, tailback, Nelsonville York High School. I think I got real good vision. I mean, kind of see it before it happens, and I know I gotta get to the outside. I'm not a real big kid, and I'm not gonna run over too many people, but I know I gotta get to the outside, and I gotta make a move and run as fast as I can. It's almost like a moment of happiness. If I break in a long run, I'm normally smiling while I'm running or laughing or something. It's just a great feeling. I got a flash underwear I wear every Friday night for the football game. I get made fun of a lot in the locker room for it, but did it last year, had to do it this year. It'd be a great feeling, because I know all the greats get good underwear for the year.
Hey, Dustin Young, I'd wear flash underwear too if it brought me a 1,700-yard rushing season. Dustin Young, a monster for the Buckeyes this season, over 1,700 rushing yards, also about 200 receiving yards, 176 yards per game, over 1,900 total yards, 29 touchdowns. Dustin Young's the man. Kristen Walters talking to him right now. Kristen.
Yep, Dustin Young, you are here with me now. You had a phenomenal season. Is that kind of what you were expecting from yourself, or did you end up exceeding your own expectations?
Well, coming into this year, I'd had high expectations because the team, we've been working together in the offseason real well and bonding real well, getting into the weight room together and just kind of working to our highest potential. And I knew this year would be a good year, but I didn't think it would be the great year that it has turned out to be.
All right, well, thank you so much. Blake, back to you.
Thanks, Kristen. Our #1 game of the year had a little of everything. Amazing height coming in, 2 undefeated teams, and a classic game that 4 quarters couldn't decide. It was called the Game of the Century, with the Ohio title on the line. Nelsonville York at Athens.
For our 2011 Game of the Year, Week 10, Athens Bulldogs hosting the Nelsonville York Buckeyes, Basil Rutter Field, TVC Ohio Championship on the line. It'd be the Bulldogs striking first. Sophomore quarterback Mike Germano finds Skylar Schwartzel for the 31-yard score, 7-0 Bulldogs. And their very next drive, Germano finds the end zone himself, says, "I'm young, but I'm crafty." Got you a 14-point lead. And they weren't done yet. Nelsonville York had no answer for this Bulldogs offense. Mitch Ryder going to take the little screen pass 42 yards into the end zone. We're used to seeing him on defense. 21-0 was your halftime score. In the third quarter, it was all Dustin Young. He manages to find the end zone, puts the Buckeyes on the board, 21-7. And that just lit a fire. You can't stop a man on a mission. Dustin Young finds the gold turf. They tack on the 2-point conversion, 21-15 Bulldogs. Nathan Dean had been struggling all night, but he manages to find you-know-who, Dustin Young, on the sideline for another score. We're tied at 21. All you got to do is kick the extra point. No good. We're going to overtime, tied at 21. Buckeyes will get the ball first. Nathan Jean drops back but gets picked off by the reigning TVC Ohio Defensive Player of the Year, Mitch Ryder. That gives the ball back to the Bulldogs offense, who set up shop for a 21-yard field goal. Seth Brooks kicks it through the upright, 3 points on the board, propels the Athens Bulldogs to their very first 10-0 season, their very first outright TVC Ohio championship.
What a game that was. Hey, no secret that Dustin Young and Devon Sharp were some of the top weapons in the Ohio this season, but the conference was loaded with playmakers, which made the Ohio race a fun one all season long. Covering that conference for us, Frank Bum, Justin Sampson. Fellas, give us some Ohio knowledge on the year.
Well, Blake, you talk about weapons. You got to start with the team at the top. Overall conference champion, the Athens Bulldogs. Weapons absolutely throughout. This team was loaded, but unfortunately, they're losing a lot of those weapons for next season. One of them sitting in our studio right now, Player of the Year finalist Devon Sharp, but they also lose their man under center in Josh Skinner. Go over on the defensive side, they lose big Mitch Ryder, Austin Zielkowski, Chris Russell, but you know what? They've got their man in tow under center for next season. Michael Germano, the incoming junior, he's only had 3 starts, but I think he has the potential to be the best offensive weapon in the TVC Ohio next season. And when he's got that Skylar-Schwartzel connection coming back next season, it could be dangerous yet again.
Well, they really have a lot of weapons over at Athens. They picked apart the NY secondary in the game of the century. But I think going into next season for NY, they have Austin North, who really came alive for them down the season against the Athens Bulldogs. He picks off Devon Sharp there, which let them go to overtime, kept them alive in that. And he was just a great weapon for them in the playoffs. And then Kyle Furr, he made some of the best catches we've seen all season, Justin.
Absolutely, he did. And you know what, Blake, it's been fantastic covering maybe the best conference we've had all season long. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, you two. Great job all season. Well, the Bulldogs enjoyed their best season in school history, due in large part to the work of their running back, Devon Sharp. In case you didn't know, he was a back-to-back finalist for this award.
1,330 yards rushing, 22 rushing touchdowns, 269 yards receiving, 4 punt returns for 103 yards, 2,028 yards all-purpose, and 25 touchdowns.
Devon Sharp personified electricity all season long for the Bulldogs, electrifying crowds. Over 2,000 all-purpose yards, 1,300 of them came on the ground. He already has our top play of the year. Will he be our player of the year? Kristen Walters talking to him right now.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Devon. You are only back-to-back player this year, so did that give you any extra motivation this season to come back here and try and win this award again?
Yeah, it definitely gave me more motivation. Being here last year was an awesome experience, and I knew that it was a place that I wanted to be back again, and I was fortunate enough to have a good season and be back here this year.
Yeah, you definitely did. Thank you so much. Blake, take it away.
Thank you. Getting the most out of a team is something every head coach aspires to do. Every year, a head coach inherits a completely different team, but continuing to win despite the rollover is something only the best can do. So many great coaching jobs done around the region this season, but the job done by a select 3 caught our attention. Here's a look at our top 3 candidates and the winner of our Coach of the Year. In Tri-Valley, the job Justin Buttermore did was not only exceptional, it was unprecedented. The Scotties won more games this season than any other team in school history. Also making history was Ryan Adams' Athens Bulldogs. For the first time in school history, Athens finished an undefeated regular season and an outright TVC Ohio championship. Andy Hall has enjoyed nothing but success at Jackson, and this season was no different. An undefeated regular season led to a playoff win in Jackson's first 11-win season during Hall's tenure. But at the end of the day, the job Ryan Adams did in Athens this season, 1 year removed from a 5-5 team devastated from the tornado that wrecked its home field, Adams found a way to rejuvenate his 500 team from 2010 to a perfect one in 2011, making Ryan Adams Gridiron Glory's Coach of the Year. Well, I want to take a moment to say thanks. Thanks to all the people who worked so hard to make Gridiron Glory the show that it has become. This year's cast and crew, as good as it gets. Also, thanks for giving me the opportunity to be your host this season. Most of all, thanks to you, the fans, for allowing us to come into your living rooms every Friday night to do what we love to do most, bringing you the coverage of Southeast Ohio football. Well, it's been an exciting season the past 13 weeks, but now, the moment we've all been waiting for, trimming our Super 6 to our top 1. This year's Player of the Year winner is...
Football's like, I don't know, it's kind of like air to me. I mean, without it, it's all I think about. I come into school, my first year of school, I got voted team captain. If we ever need the short yardage or anything, I'm always like, hey, give me the ball, I'll take it. If it's not football season, I'm doing something to get better at football.
Austin Osborne, I believe this belongs to you, my man.
Thanks, sir.
First of all, coming into this season, was winning a Gridiron Glory Player of the Year something that you aspired to do?
I can remember, like I said, back when I was a little kid, my brother played for Wellston, and just remember watching Gridiron Glory and being there when they were on the sidelines and stuff, and I always said, I wanted to be, on that show, and, having it happen is, a dream come true.
Well, man, you have been just great all season long. You're very deserving. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, that does it. What a season it was. I had so much fun. We hope you did too. Congrats on another season for all of our teams. For the final time, I'm Blake Brody. We've known it for 13 years. This year's no different. Until next year, remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
There was a time I was the king, living the all-American dream, quarterback of the football team. And we had worked so hard in the August heat, 2 times a day, 6 days a week. Senior year, 17. The butterflies I felt there before that first game left when the whistle blew, as fast as they had came. When I said, you go short and you go long, and said we never make it, but they were wrong, and just let the scoreboard tell the story.